Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's video. I'm focusing on this specialty paper that came in the July Kitaholic Kits that features the All Heart paper collection from Crate Paper. So I'm just using this paper here to cut into the squares. So it's like it's a periodic table, but instead of the chemicals, it's got words like brave and strong and stuff like that. And I'm just cutting them up, and I'm going to have a play with them on the page. Decided I'd cut them up and put some up on fun foam and some down low and have them up and down around and have this photo. Lovely wild hair, looking great as I woke up in the morning photo. And when I seen this photo, I knew I wanted to have this phrase as the title. So I've got on there on the plastic thickers packet the title, of course I woke up like this, jealous. And so I wanted to see if I could work both the ideas together, the idea of this super long title and the idea of these squares being on the background using this specialty paper. And I was going to go with it all over, and then I realised it'd be cool to just focus the top here with these paper squares and then the bottom being the title. So this is going to evolve, and this is how we're starting, but I'm just going to cut out the squares, and I keep it in because I did speed it up, but I keep it in because you see how it evolves and how it looks and comes together, because often, actually like 99.9% of the time when I'm making a page, I have a little idea like this of I want to use a specialty paper and cut them into squares, and then the rest is just going with the flow and working out where I want what and how it's going to work. So really didn't need too much to be added to this page. This specialty paper and then this big title is a big focal point of the layout. I do add some embellishment clusters, but even before I added the clusters, I was like, oh, it doesn't need anything, maybe just one or two things. And then of course I get swept up in the motion of adding embellishments and end up with more than one or two things. If anyone's watched any of my videos, you know I love embellishments. So you can see I've got these little squares cut out, and it's looking pretty nice. You can see the idea there, and I wondered whether it'd be cool, because I was like, maybe I should border, have some specialty paper down the bottom, not specialty, some pattern paper down the bottom. And then I thought, if I just use this specialty paper down the bottom too, then it will tie it in really nicely. So I'm going to just layer some down here and cut them off so they are square flush with the 12 by 12 page. And that way we're going to have some a little bit down the bottom, a lot up the top, and the title in the middle with the photo overlapping there. You can see that coming together down the bottom. Just playing around with it just a little to see if I need any more before I start gluing them down, because you can see I haven't cut them all out first. Some people would do that first. They would fussy cut it probably on the couch doing something else, and then they would come and build it. But of course, we get an idea. I've just got to do it straight there and then, not wait for fussy cutting time at the end of the day. So I'm going to cheat, but it works brilliantly. I'm just going to layer 2 strips of the double-sided tape down the bottom here, rather than stick double-sided tape on each individual square. This way it's easy to cut off, but also it is just super easy to stick them on, as you can see. Plonk, 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 and they're in the right spot where I want them. I do change it up as I'm plonking them down and need another one, but that's okay because I've got this paper here, and because I get the paper out on kit, I actually have a second one of them as well. I do go ahead and use up this whole sheet, other than I think I leave one, maybe 2 little squares left, but that's okay because we can use them as embellishments on another paper, or I might need them when I'm using the other specialty paper. So you can see, even just that, I really like the way it looks like that. You could build a paper like a layout, just having that as a border piece down the bottom. It would be really fun as well. So I don't make you watch all of them, because you can see I've used like 100 letters to spell out this title. But I do come back in 2 seconds here, and my title is stuck down. Now I was going to use that little asterisk, which is cut weirdly, not by myself, it just came like that, but instead I use one of the little pieces as a hyphen. I'm going to work out where I want to put my photo, because I'm just going to use a little lead pencil to mark it out, and I don't want to spend all my time gluing down cards in that section that's going to be fully covered. So again, I'm just going to layer the double-sided tape down. It's a full length at the top, and then on the sides it's just part of the way over on the left and then on the right as well. So you can see, just putting some tape down, and then I will get to arranging those little cards, those little squares, where they see fit. The only thing I thought of was that, excuse me, that I wanted them not to have colours too close together, like not right next to each other, left and right kind of thing. Obviously there's not heaps of colours, so I can't have them too far apart of each other. Just boring little part of pulling the tape off, and then I'll get set to making this page pop. So I'm just going to start at the bottom, which is funny because when I was doing that bottom line of the whole page, I started in the middle and worked out, and that was a much better way of positioning and making it sit properly and more balanced, whereas this one I sort of went from the outside and things like that, and it sort of got a bit funny. I had to move a couple of them, but it works in the end. There's not much like rhyme or reason to it. It's not that hard to just position squares and just make it look random and fun. It's sort of like you've picked up these things and they've just fallen out of your hands, and you're like, oh, that looks pretty. And that's the way the layout goes. So just moving this one here. Ta-da! And yeah, so I'm just basically finishing the background here just with these pieces. And I did see in the Facebook group I'm pretty sure it's a subscribers group, that we were asking what is something in the kit that was a bit hard to work with, and a few people had said this specialty paper, which is what made me think like, oh, it's something I haven't reached for either, and it's probably something I wouldn't reach for unless I purposefully used it. I might just cut one little square and use it as an embellishment, but I thought, okay, well, if someone else is having issues and if I don't use it, I'm going to end up just having it in my stash, then I figure I will use it and challenge myself, and I really like the outcome. So my son was saying I had to use that one, it says brave on it, because I said, oh, do you think I'm brave? And he goes, yeah, look, and he pointed to the photo like, yeah, if you're going to use that photo, if you're going to take a photo of yourself like that and put it on YouTube, then I think brave is the word that goes with that. So just cutting the last few down. I did cut enough, but at the beginning, but because I've overlapped them all, you do need to think about that and add some more. But that's okay, because fussy cutting squares is so easy, very quick. You don't have to think too much about it. You don't have to spend forever doing it either. So that is fun. Going to add this last one here, and you can see there in the middle that space where my photo is going to go, which is not covered with the squares because that would just be a waste of time. It looks so cool. So you can see here, I'm going to cut down the excess, and some of them you can use again if you wanted to layer and things like that, if you were that inclined to keep. But I do just put these ones into the bin. The colours work really nice together. They the whole collection has some really lovely colours, and they just pop. So you can see it's going to go nicely there. I did consider putting foam tape behind it, but then I thought, oh, then my thickers aren't going to be able to overlap it without being up, and it would just be frustrating. So I do add it just with double-sided tape here and lay it flat, and it just looks so much nicer. It looks nice that way. It might have looked different with the foam, but I think it looks really nice here because it's like layering just like the other pieces of paper that is going on. So just going to lift these thickers up so I could tuck my photo in. And in fact, I actually move the I, the third word, up to the first line and move over, of course, just so that it is a bit more lined up and even. It was making my eye was being drawn to the middle line where there was 4 words and the rest weren't very, like, it was just uneven. I'm just going to glue just one of these little half pieces that say Dream. Pretty sure it says Dream. I'm going to go there. And then I pick one over here to put to the same over there. It just makes it just a different pop of colour, but also means that it's down lower than that first line of writing, the words, and just makes it look more appealing, really. Sometimes I just don't even know why I do things. I just do them. So sometimes when you're like recording the voiceover, I'm like, why did I do that? But it works. That's obviously why I did it, but you just don't know in the moment sometimes. You just go with the flow of art. So just going to work out what kind of embellishments I want to add. I don't want to add much, but I wondered what I could, what it needed. I did pull my photo apart a little bit there, but that's okay. Do want to put that one there, but it's just too big. It's just not necessary. I've already got big elements going on, the photo, the squares, and then the title. But that's okay. I'm going to work with these words. These Heidi Swat ones have got some lovely colours that fit really well. So I'm actually not even going to pull them up as stickers. I'm cutting them so that the backing's on them, and because they're clear stickers, if you don't cut them on the backing or put them on the cardstock, then you won't be able to see through them with all this busyness going around. I do cut a second one, more of a banner, this one. And this is where I start, this is all it needed. I'd put these two words on and maybe enamel dot or two, and then that would have been really perfect. Not to say that the finished one doesn't look good too, but it's just so funny how I was literally thinking that, and I was thinking that's all it needs, and then I go and look for some more. It's just me. Anyway, I pull out this sticker that says "You're special." Oh, that was perfect. And I just like the circleness of it that changes up all the square lines that are going on in the paper. So I think, okay, that's enough words for now. I'm going to add some some foam tape behind this circle. And that's going to be lifted up off the page because I don't have anything other than the thickers. It's all just flat on the page. So pull out some puffy stickers. I love these puffy stickers. So cute. And I figured all these banners work really well. So I'm going to get 2 of them on my page, which I don't know if there's any more. I think that's it. And the little pennant flags, they work so nicely. And I'm so proud that I got them on because I love them, but they were just not working on any of my other layouts. So cluster down there, I'm just going to have the 3 clusters that draws your eye from the top of the photo down to the bottom of the page. It sort of already was doing that, which is why I think it didn't really need too much more going on. When before adding embellishments, your eye was already drawn over everything on the page, but it's always nice to have a little bit of extra interest to look at. So put in some words there. One of them's up on foam tape, and then I'm going to have a look at these little puffy stickers and work out what I want to use. I'm hoarding them a little. I have used a lot, but a lot of them I'm hoarding for sure. I did put this banner pen flag here, but I do move it in the end. Just up. It's in the same cluster. So 2 little puffies down there, and then I'm just going to work out if there's anything else that I want to add. I'm looking for the cardstock stickers, and then I see these little stars on these blue alphas, on these, what are they, aqua teal, and they just are the right colour, so they're going to go on there. Pity there wasn't more, but we'll work with what we have. Now, love this favour, and I love how it's the holographic shine kind of thing that is going on in the specialty paper that I've cut up. So that was a nice little consistent thing, and I wanted to get it on, but I don't get it on till the very last thing. So crazy how that works. Let's having a look. It's funny. I want to admit that when I first started seeing this kit and I unboxed it, I didn't like, well, it's not that I didn't like them, I just didn't know how I was going to use the real flowers with the doodly lines and the, you know, that look, those embellishments that had that realness and the drawingness to it that didn't seem to gel for me. But now that I've used the kit, these layouts have become some of my favorite layouts for sure. And it's so crazy that I was like, oh, I don't know where to start. I don't know. I've got no ideas, no mojo with this kit. And then since using it, I'm just like, these are brilliant. This is just working for me. I can't explain it, but is so fun. I just love these thickers too. I thought it'd be tricky to work with the uppercase and the lowercase together, but I'm making it work and I'm loving the way it's gelling together. So sometimes it's nice to be able to, because I would never have brought this collection myself, not just because I have boys, but because it didn't appeal to me. I love elements of it, but not enough of it to purchase. And when we got it in the kit, I was like, okay, let's work with this challenge. And I was like, and then I was like, and then it's becoming like, oh, I just want to keep using it and using it and using it. So that is the brilliant things about kits, is that you get some things that maybe you've never seen before, or things that you weren't going to particularly use, and they work well when you are starting to create with them. So don't hoard anything that you aren't necessarily sure what you're doing with. Challenge yourself. This specialty paper, I'm glad I challenged myself, because I wouldn't have, I'm like 99% sure it would have just sat there. We would have done a killer kit video with, oh yeah, here's most of the paper. I cut out 3 squares, and then it would have just gone in my stash, and then I would, 3 years later going, oh yeah, I remember getting that in a kit. But here is the end result. I hope you like the video. I hope you like the layout and how it came together. Let us know if you're using the specialty paper and if it's worked well for you. Okay, thanks guys. See you next time. Bye.